like I'm such a competitive person that I don't look at it as a negative thing, right? I look at it as this is basically cooperation. you know, like to have somebody who is like in your same field, whatever you're doing, and y'all are both pushing each other to be the best each other that you can be in this field, right? It's like you're basically cooperating with one another. Hey, what it do, y'all? How y'all doing? I hope you are doing well. My name is Minnie Mani, and welcome to the Oasis 13. Um, it's just me today. It's just me today. And, before I get into what the topic is, I just want to kind of talk about where I've been the past couple of weeks as far as my mindset and just, what I want to see happen. So I'm not even going to lie to you. But the last couple of weeks, it's been very confusing. Like it's been very much a time of not being comfortable, right? And in some ways that's a good thing because that means growth, right? That means expansion. That means things are happening. But it also means it's just a lot. Like I don't really know what's happening. I'm just here. Like this is I'm just at one of those parts of my life where I'm just like, all right, God, I don't know. Like I'm okay. All right. Well, shoot. Like, all right. Let me just relax in these choppy waters. I'm gonna just have to breathe through it and just know that everything is gonna be all right. And not even saying like it's been like anything bad has been happening because it really hasn't. It's just been mostly my mind. Okay. And and what that's the reason for that is because like every couple of years I always reevaluate like where I'm at in life and if I like the direction that it's going. Like I always am like, is this where I want to be? Are these the people that I want to be around? Am I doing the right thing? Am I in the space that I need to be? Is the community that I'm surrounding myself with, is it the people that I need to be around for the growth that I want to have? What type of growth do I want to have? Where do I see my life going? Is it the same that I saw it going a couple years ago? Right? Because I could have started something a couple years ago and made sure my life trajected in that place, but or in that way, but if that's not what I want anymore, And so really I really kind of do that like every couple of years. And it's weird because it's like one part of me wants stability, one part of me wants to just live in one place and just have the same people around for the rest of my life, right? Like it's so comfortable. That's so comfortable and easy. It feels warm, it feels fuzzy and cozy and just comfortable, right? Like one part of me enjoys that aspect. And then there's another part of me that is just always pushing myself to just, like I said, I always ask myself that question like every couple of years. So I'm always pushing myself to just change things up if I'm not, if I'm am too comfortable, because if I'm comfortable, am I growing? like I don't know. It's kind of like you go in cycles, right? I'm not saying I don't ever want to be kind of like I always want to be, you know, like in a state of growth where it's just like difficult and just, like when you grow, it's it's like things are breaking off, it's just shedding, it's not the easiest feeling. So I'm not saying I always want to be in that space, but also am not, I don't always, I don't think I'll ever be to the point where I am just set, like where I'm just like, okay, this is it. And I'm just going to stay here. I don't know if I ever will be to that point, and I don't know if that's a negative thing, right? I think that's just a part of my personality of just always wanting to expand and be better and just not having limits for what I see for myself, and what I want in life. And it's interesting because um it's like social media can make you really feel like like every your how you think is wrong, right? Because it was for a while where I would watch certain videos and it would just be like, you know, basically against my type of mindset, the type of mindset that's always wants to grow, always wants to learn, always um is just not complacent where they are in life. And it's not saying that you're not grateful for whatever point that you're at. I always express gratitude to the people in my life, to myself, to where I'm at. Like I do, like extensively. I'm like, yo, you are like you're freaking doing it, you know? But I'm also always like, so how can I expound on that? You know? Like I'm very grateful for where I am. I'm very grateful for where I have come. Like, thank you. Like I'm so excited for that. But how can I continue to do that? And I don't think that's a negative mindset, right? Because I feel like for a while, it would be certain videos where people would be like, "Oh well, you'll never be satisfied." I don't. What if I don't want to be? What if I always want to push myself more until the day I freaking get off of this earth? Like what if? Why can't I do that? Like I always want to push myself to be better. Like I'm in competition with myself all the time. Seriously. So this goes into what we're talking about today, which is healthy competition. Because again, I feel like um, it can be seen as competition as a negative thing when it really doesn't have to be. So let me share this video from my guy Nipsey real quick, because he always coming. He always coming with the realness. All right.
Whoever you surround yourself with, you around 10 broke niggas, you gonna be the 11th one. You around people that have high standards for themselves or high integrity, got high standards for their friends, for their people. That's gonna rub off and you gonna have that type of energy around you. So if you with somebody and they somebody that's high energy or a powerful person, that's motivation for you to stay on top of your game. Because somebody probably gonna call you out or it's gonna be lopsided. You know what I mean? And so, I know my girl work. My girl bring home a check. You know what I mean? So it's like, what I look like falling off. You know what I mean? Not that I would feel like it's cool to fall off if I didn't, but it's just like, you got a little bit more of a daily reminder. You know
It's
what I mean?
like steel sharpens steel.
100%. That's the simple way to say it.
Yeah.
Period.
Simple. 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 God. Like, uh, I just, I'm so, that man, I just love the way his mind thinks. But um, it's simple. Like steel sharpens steel. Like, and he's saying even his girl when he was with Lauren London, like he not intimidated by that. He don't like that makes him want to work harder because he know his girl gonna do what she do. Like she is who she is. So it's like he gotta do his thing. That make him want to work even harder. And I love that. I love that because I have always had that type of mindset. Like with my friends, with relationships, whatever. I remember um back in elementary school, right? My old elementary school friend, right? I would literally put in my head that we would compete to see who's gonna have the best report card, right? We were both really smart honor roll students, right? And she pushed me in that way to for me to work harder. And it wasn't in a negative way of like, like, I don't know why she the one who always gotta get because she did used to get the straight A's and that, but it just made me want to work even harder to try to attain, like to try to get to where the same level and not even on the same, yeah, the same level, right? But with still within our own lanes, right? Like I'm such a competitive person that I don't look at it as a negative thing, right? I look at it as this is basically cooperation. you know, like to have somebody who is like in your same field, whatever you're doing, and y'all are both pushing each other to be the best each other that you can be in this field, right? It's like you're basically cooperating with one another, like, all right, well, they done came out with the new thing and that's popping. Let me see what I can do, right? Let me see how I can how I can get the same type of growth that they done got, but in my own lane, right? Because I think the issue when people think about competition is you are competing with that other person in their lane, right? Instead of recognizing that that person has their own separate lane, you have your own separate lane, right? But y'all are just competing with each other, but within your own lanes. It's not like you say, okay, I'm gonna try to be better than them because you will never be better than them, right? Like you will always be your own separate person. You always have your own separate journeys of how you got to where you're at and all of that. So it's different. It will never be the same. There will never be another you. There will never be another them. So it's not necessarily you competing with them, but it's you, each one of you competing in y'all own separate lanes, but with each other to make each other your best selves, right? It's like you have to have that kind of push, like I love those type of relationships. It's like, yes, like make me work harder. Yes, do your thing, you know? Like, yes, be the best version of you because that's only going to motivate me to be the best version of me, you know? I don't look at it as a like, oh damn, like they doing their thing. Oh man, like they so much better and I just don't understand why I'm not. I don't look at it like that. I do not. I am like, damn, they doing their thing. Okay. All right. I see you. You know what? Let me learn some things from you. All right, I'm gonna study you. I will. I'm gonna study what you do. And I'm gonna be like, okay, all right. All right. So let me try to see how I can apply that to my own lane. Right. Let me try to see how I can look at their growth and have that inspire me for my growth. For example, for example, I started a TikTok like a few months ago, right? Um, for promotion of the Oasis 13, and yeah, so I started a few months ago. And if you've been with me for a while, or if you follow my Instagram, the Oasis 13 underscore, if you follow my Instagram, with the brand, the way that I learn is by doing, right? So I don't hold myself back um for doing things. Like for instance, there are some people who have to do all of the research beforehand before they do it, and then by the time they do it, they already know, all of that information. I just do it and figure out that information after the fact. So, for instance, I started TikTok. I wasn't really aware of the best way to market myself on TikTok, but I was just like, I'll try it. Like, why not? Like, who cares? You know? So, my growth with TikTok, I think I got like one video that really popped off, but the other one was just, like regular views, wasn't really that much. And I haven't really gained much of a set audience up there yet because again, I'm still learning, right? I'm still learning how to effectively brand and market. And to me that's exciting. I kind of like that journey, like I like seeing the growth of where I was at one point and then when I make certain changes, seeing how that changes. Like I like that. That's nothing to me. I'm not one of those people who has to be like super ahead of the game when I start. Like I'm cool learning as I go. So, anyways, like I said, so my TikTok, it wasn't really that I didn't really get that much growth, to be honest. I haven't. And then my sister, she had a TikTok, but she just recently started posting. And I saw her growth from from her how she did it, right? Like, and so that inspired me. It did. I was like, yes, because she taught me things about, like how to market and basically what I need to do with my overall message, you know? So I love that. It's like keep doing that because to me it's like I'm basically I'm gonna support you so much because you being the best version of you, like you doing you so good, right? And it of course it has to be somebody who's kind of within the same, y'all kind of on the same levels, right? Like I can't compare myself to freaking Issa Rae. Like she already up there, right? But somebody who I know is tangible right there, it's like, yes, okay, now you got me, right? Like, I like the game, you know? So Yeah, but not in a like a negative way. And so doing the research on this topic, you always got to look up the etymology of words, right? So let me share my screen. Let me share my screen really quick. So the etymology of the word compete is to strive um, for something together. Literally. To strive or contend for something together, to come together, right? The first part is, right, togetherness, and then striving, right? So striving for something together, right? That's literally what it is. Like, you are both striving together to be your best selves. And like Nipsey said, if you have a community of people that you surround yourself with, who y'all are all striving to be your best selves, it will only um amplify that. It will only, like, y'all will only just continue to help one another be your best selves. And that type of competition is so beautiful. Like, it's just so, I love it. I love that. I love that. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. So let me bring up another example. I don't know if this is necessarily the best example, but this had just came to my mind as I was thinking of the topic. So I'm not an anime, like, I'm not a super anime buff, but I did like start trying to getting into it a little bit. And the first one that I kind of watch and like, which is still one of my favorites, is Death Note. Definitely my style. Okay, psychological. I love psychological weird shit. Okay, I do. So, the two main characters, L and Light, are the two main characters, and they have such a competition with each other that just pushes them to be, better. Like, but there's is different because one is basically the dark side and one is the light side. So one is the dark character where him being better is not necessarily best for humanity. Whereas the other one being better is best for humanity. And not to tell the story, but at one point, one of the characters dies. And the other one, after that character dies, the other one is like, oh, well, this isn't fun anymore. You know, like, it's just because it's like having somebody who you can actually, who is basically on a similar level as you, who would push you to be the best in the game. That's so exciting, but it's like when you don't have that, it's just like, oh, well, okay, well, all right. This isn't fun anymore. It's just like that drive. Because sometimes, you know, and whatever you're doing in life, life can get just very mundane, and you can just forget to realize, like, how amazing it is, right? Sometimes. And but when you have that counterpart who is always like, like y'all always sparring, you know what I mean? Like y'all always like, all right, you know, like, okay, they did this, that hit. Okay, 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 I got you. Let me see how I'm gonna do on my side. You know what I mean? Like I just love that. I love that personally. Um, so yeah, so I wanted to speak to healthy competition within relationships. Like, do y'all have that with y'all friendships, with y'all relationships? You say you heard Nipsey say he even had that with his girl, right? And not in a way of like, again, or if he being intimidated or um that becoming a negative aspect within their relationship, but him making that her doing her thing makes him want to be an even better him, you know? So yeah, back to what I was saying in the beginning, just to tie it in, it's like I've been reevaluating where I'm at in life. And if where I'm at is really pushing me to be my best self, I ain't saying too much. All I'm saying is if I feel like there's a cap, if I feel like I'm not finding that same level of like, because to compete with somebody, it's like you have to find somebody with the same kind of drive, kind of mindset with you as you to be able to compete in that way, right? So I've just been thinking about if this space that I'm in now allows that for me, you know? And so it's just been a lot for me to think about. But I know that, I can always compete with myself. I'm always going to push myself to be better, but I'm also going to make sure that my surrounding community and the people that I surround myself with is also implementing me to be my better self. Like I want to be able to, like reference the people around me and be like, yeah, like, like you're doing such an amazing job. It just makes me want to do better. And shout out to my mother freaking solid people in my life because I promise you they are. Like they the solid mofos in my life, they really doing their thing, and I'm so I love that. I love that for them, you know. It inspires me. I love it, you know. Um, but yeah, so here's to healthy competition. Don't make that shit negative. Like, let's come together and compete together to be our best selves with each other, like as a team, like as a unit. Because you being your best self, me being my best self, it only is going to elevate everything around us and just have us have a whole, like for the bigger picture, everybody being their best self, man, you know? Yeah. And then also, lastly, so like I said, I was just pivoting and thinking about the direction and yeah, so I think I did say it in the beginning, but I'm gonna say it again. The direction that the topics are going in is I am focusing on relationships because like I said, I just been learning that I need to streamline my message, right? And I gotta focus on a certain thing, right? And so when I really say relationships, I'm not just focusing on romantic relationships any. No. Mm-mm. I'm talking about your relationship with yourself. Again, your relationship with your family, your relationship with your friends, your relationship with just the people around you, your relationship with your community, your relationship with your state, like just different aspects of relationships because it matters. Like it is one of the most important things in any aspect in life. In any aspect in life, relationships can make or break it in any aspect in life, like so we gonna get into it. We gonna get into it, deep into it. All right. Okay. But anyways, thank you for listening. And I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. Okay. Okay. And remember that your refuge is in your self healing. So please take yourself to find your refuge. All right.